Hi there, welcome to the MOBCAST. I'm David Turner.
I'm Sam Staff.
I'm Josh Simmonds.
Hey!
This is where we talk about games, movies, and TV shows, and
Bunch of media stuff, really.
Yeah.
Not necessarily new stuff. Sometimes new stuff. Sometimes just things we've recently come across.
sometimes.
Some of which I'm going to be talking about are at least 10 years old. So
Sam's seen new
that's
stuff.
the first time I've seen them as well. So,
I'm playing some old games as well.
Yeah.
Not totally old, but something that's been around for a couple of years.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just-
I watched House of Cards.
Oh,
That's,
nice.
that's the closest thing to new.
I haven't watched it. I've got some friends that watch it. I mean, it's a Netflix
Netflix.
exclusive, isn't
It's a
it?
Netflix
And I
exclusive.
don't have Netflix because I'm a poor bastard. So yeah, I haven't watched it, but I've got a bunch of mates that say it's really good. So I'm hoping maybe some of my housemates, when I move, they'll have it and we'll just sit and chill. So.
Mhm. But yeah, mainly this podcast will just focus on stuff we've seen in various medias that we find interesting and want to share. Pretty much. So, who wants to go first? Should we talk about video games or movies first?
Well, what's the most recent thing? I could talk about what I was doing the second before I came downstairs.
Okay.
Go for it, because it was quite cool actually. Like the whole banjo kazooie.
Yeah. I was watching it's Rooster Teeth guys. They every now and then Michael uploads a full play, and he really loves Banjo Kazooie, and his character in the Minecraft things Banjo. And so, like, he was playing Banjo Kazooie, and I was watching it. I was like, I really miss like all the old games we used to play, like you know, Spyro and Crash, and is it a Croc as well, and
Croc,
Rayman and
yes.
stuff. And I've got all them, and I can just I've got an emulator, so I can just run the discs on my Mac.
Yeah.
And I was just recalibrating my controller to work with it because I had problems, as I was saying, with the triggers because they act as camera movers on the old games. That's how they're set up.
Yeah.
And then because the triggers are spring-loaded, they've got potentiometers in them. They're just all over the fucking place unless you hold them halfway down the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's really awkward when you're playing the game. So I managed to work out how to get that to work properly. But yeah, they're a lot of fun. And the fact that I can just put a PlayStation disc in my Mac now and just play the games that I used to play when I was a kid.
That's awesome.
It's great. I don't even know where I found the emulator, but it was free as well. It's just fantastic. So yeah, you need to get that down. And there's plenty of PC versions. There's actually more PC than there is Mac. It took them a while to port it over to Mac after they recently did it.
That's no
And I
good.
think they're working on an Xbox, like original Xbox emulator, and a PlayStation 2 emulator. That's the last time I checked. That was about 6-7 months ago, so they could have it done by now.
Yeah, I'll try and emulate that over the weekend, and we might have something we both played that
It's
we can
called
talk about.
PCSX. It's not a big file. It basically just converts code to run it on your screen.
Oh, that's cool.
So because PlayStation games were on CDs.
Yeah.
So CD-ROM, you can easily play that through a Mac. Just plug it in, and it's fine. You just have to, have the right things played. White codes. Yeah. I went to the our local version of CEX, which is Dog and Bird, and I was just thinking it's a complete fucking rip-off. But just bought. I spent like 20 quid on like £1 PlayStation games over the summer, just like playing like Command and Conquer and just crazy stuff. It was just great fun, and it was really good on like a kind of nostalgic level. I mean, yeah, you do kind of notice how kind of raw some of the games were, but the enjoyment's still there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's the same with like when you go back to playing on like the Nintendo 64 and stuff like that. The graphics, yeah, they were lovely at the time, but they're a bit blocky. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it's just like
It's quaint.
But
yeah, that's it.
That's why there's a SNES over there.
they don't need to be good graphics, though. I mean,
Well, no, that's what I mean. It's got that charm to
I mean,
it,
if
which
I'm
is
going-
what I love about,
I mean-
especially with Zelda, it's fantastic.
if I'm going to be graphically critical here, the SNES has got, the NES has got terrible graphics, but you don't care after a while.
No, but it's still fucking awesome. Like,
It's about the gameplay, really.
Yeah.
So people always complain. Like, what was it? There's a thing that came out recently. People were complaining that Titanfall was 792p or something. Who's going to sit there and go, that's not 1080. Of course, it's 1080.
With the details.
Just
Just- If I'm honest, I saw Josh play a game yesterday.
I think he got Titanfall.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
Titanfall. Yeah,
PC, I think, is 1080 though. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know the
Even-
PC specs.
Do you reckon?
Even then, like he was playing it on both the normal screen and the big screen, and it just looks beautiful. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't see what the problem is. It's
Yeah.
just it runs beautifully. I mean, the whole controls of it's fantastic. It looks like
Yeah.
Prince of
It's
Persia
smooth.
with guns,
Smooth, man.
jetpacks. It's just-
Yeah.
Do you reckon graphics are going to become more and more of a driving factor in games then?
I think the graphics are kind of gonna reach a peak at some point because I mean, how far are we going to get before people are getting bored of looking at pores on somebody's skin, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I remember seeing trailers for things like Thief. I know they were cinematic trailers and stuff, but you could see the little pock marks in his nose and stuff. You're like, this is incredible, and this will be in game, but you can't get more than that. I mean, unless you're going to be programming in, the actual cells of the skin, it's a bit ridiculous.
Well, the late PS3 games and 360 games had very pretty games towards their end of their era.
Yeah.
My problem is I've been playing on a CRT monitor for the last... I don't have any digital monitors. Mine are all bloody old. Everything's like at the wrong aspect ratio and stuff. It's terrible.
So you like squinting at the screen at times?
I was just the other end of the room. It's too blurry from that close. I have to just guess what the words say.
I had a really bad monitor 2 years ago to play my Xbox on. It was literally the monitor was just shaped like a white box, and it didn't even have like HDMI cables on it. So and often at times when I was playing games on them, it would sort of just change sort of black, white, and red.
Yeah.
Like those are the only colours the screen was recognising.
Jeez.
Talking about that, like it's not a monitor, but I was going through what was it? I was in my sister's room and she had my old HD telly.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh my god, I actually played PS3 games on that. It's actually really small. It's like 19 inches.
Yeah.
And compared to what I've got now, it's like I think it's 32, and I'm just like the size difference. I was actually literally close to the screen sometimes trying to actually read.
The screen that I use, which is the CRT, is smaller than Dave's screen there. What size is that screen? That's
God knows.
That's got to be a 90, more probably 20.
It's
20?
yeah, I think it's.
Because they measure it diagonally.
I think it's just under a 20. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, mine's basically the same height as that, but about 3/4 of the width. It's terrible. It's so bad. And I mean, the only reason I can play like games like Skyrim, like games that have lots of text in it, like Skyrim and things with GTA when you're going through like menus and stuff, is because I played it on a bigger screen when I first played it, and I kind of know where the buttons are now, so I know which bits to go for. So every now and then I do something a bit weird, and I'm like, oh shit, I have to find out what I did wrong. But I mean, it's I know, but I mean, I still enjoy the gameplay, and I still think, I mean, I don't know, I think it looks good. I think it looks good.
Yeah.
So I've never seen gameplay better than what I see on my Mac, because I watch all these things, they're in HD, but I don't see them on other HD screens. I see them as high as my Mac can play. I mean, like, I accidentally rendered a short video, a 15-second kind of intro slate for some stuff I'm doing, in 4K on my Mac. 15 seconds, and that took me 4 hours to do it. And then it turned, I couldn't even watch it in 4K. It had to transfer it down to 1080p just so I can watch the 15-second clip that I made.
How long does that take you to do?
The clip itself, I taught myself how to use Premiere Pro. That's why I ended up. That was one of the first mistakes that I made. So I ended up in 4K because I taught myself how to use the software. But I've got the hang of it now. But yeah, Jesus, it took hours for that thing to render. And I couldn't work out what it was. I thought it was just my Mac's a bit old. It's probably just having a bit of a mardy, but it was a bit. I didn't know. It was quite an old version of Premiere Pro as well. I didn't know that it was capable of rendering it at 4K. I just put highest resolution. I thought 1080p, that'll be fine. No, it's got no kind of limiting factor. It just goes for it.
I bet your Mac had a feel there, like, oh, for fuck's sake!
It just lay there and went kurr. You know they do that.
It
They
does
always
that,
do that when they go kurr. They do it in the middle of the night sometimes, because I leave mine usually on standby because it does updates as it's like not being used. Maybe it's just lying in bed. Stop growling.
My Mac's not exactly built for playing games either, so often when I'm playing stuff like Minecraft on it makes all sorts of noises.
Yeah, mine doesn't exactly enjoy Minecraft that much, which is pretty ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I can play all the old.
It works well
I was
for
saying that all the emulated stuff works fine, but Minecraft just goes.
No.
It's like it takes a while to warm up to programs.
I don't notice it.
Okay, so it slowly warms up.
The more I play a program, the better it gets up running. And if I leave it for a couple of weeks and then come back to it, it's like, oh my god, I can't remember how to do this properly. And it has a bit of a fit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't usually notice it when I'm playing the game, so I usually put the volume up pretty high. But usually after I played a good few solid hours on the game, then when I turn the game off, I notice my computer's making a big humming noise. It goes. I just sort of realised it was making that noise the entire time afterwards.
Oh god.
I need to back up the stuff in case I break it.
Yeah. No, actually, Steve has had some serious problems with his MacBook recently. I don't know what it was. It was when the Mavericks thing came out a couple of months ago, and it wasn't quite finished. And I don't know if it had anything to do with it. I don't think it did. He just had a problem where, I think it was a hardware fault more than a software thing. His AirPort stopped working, the wireless connector, and he couldn't work out why. So he took it to the store, and it turns out that there was a hardware fault. Some wire or connector had come loose. So they got that fixed. And then he's like, great. And then it worked for like a week, and then the same thing happened again. So he took it in, they replaced some of the hardware, and it came back and it was fine. And then after a week, it just wouldn't turn on properly. It would turn on, it would come up with the Apple logo for a bit, like when you've broken your iPod and that little, and then it just shuts down again. And that was it. And then he had to send it off again because there had basically been a complete hard drive malfunction. And this is just from sending it off to get fixed. And it took him, the third attempt, he just got it back. He had to write his whole dissertation in the libraries at college because he didn't have it during those weeks. Just because things hadn't been sorted out properly, which was a bit shitty, really.
Did he have a spare laptop, or was that?
No, that was what he had.
I think his laptop's the same age as mine as well, so probably back that up soon.
Well, my Mac's about 5 years old now, and it was a display model, but it still does the job. I mean, it does everything I need it to do.
I think after a while, though, don't Apple purposely make their hardware start to go dodgy after a certain period?
Planned obsolescence, yeah.
So then you have to buy.
It's like Hoovers; they always break within a couple of months. Like Dysons, they say, "Oh, a lifetime guarantee," but bits will break, so you have to buy replacements, or you have to buy a new Hoover. Same with washing machines. Washing machines will break. They're designed to break.
Pretty much everything.
Even if you do get fucking Calgon,
true. I wouldn't be surprised.
Fucking still won't survive long.
I wouldn't be surprised if half stuff in this house is held together by duct tape.
There's definitely this house. Jesus. It is just...
Even the rail, you could just sort of wobble it.
Bloody hell. Oh my god.
Sam, by the way, you said the new Walking Dead came out, didn't you?
Oh, yes. The new season of... Season 2 of the Walking Dead game. Oh, wow. Absolutely amazing. I have to say, they've really stepped up their game. I mean, don't get me wrong, the first season was fantastic.
I thought they were really good.
That's a big say, because I actually thought the first one was pretty awesome.
Oh, no.
Everybody thought the first one was pretty awesome.
Don't get me wrong, it was, and I loved it, but what they're doing now is they're really stepping up the mark. They're really pushing the boundaries so much more. I mean, I think the story is pretty much more survival now. It is like, you are Clem, and you've got to... You've got to find what's best. I mean, it is hard. I mean,
make decisions. Yeah.
I mean, they're playing off the first season as well, because you do get emotionally invested in Clem in the first season because you're playing a protagonist that's protecting her. So then you're just as protected by her in the second series because you're controlling her.
What they did with is it Last of Us? With the DLC, you play as Ellie.
Yeah.
And they kind of did that with I don't know. Last of Us have done nothing but win awards. They won so much. Didn't the girl who played Ellie, I think, for voice acting or something, won a BAFTA or something?
I think she did.
Can you win that?
8 or 9?
No, do you know what the weird thing is? She's not actually 8 or 9.
How old is she?
She's like in her 20s.
Really?
Yeah, and she plays. That's how mad it is. It's at first people thought it was Ellen Page, and then the whole confusion about it.
Yeah, she always does something like around the time that Last of Us does something.
I did think
when she came out, there was a big release with the character that people thought was her, and it's just everything just seems to be coincidental.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a muddle, really.
I did actually think it was Ellen Page for a bit in Last of Us, but not because I thought it looked incredibly like her. It's because I got confused with Beyond Two Souls coming out around the same time.
That was the thing that...
apparently Beyond Two Souls wasn't that great.
I have to say, it wasn't like Heavy Rain. I mean, I loved Heavy Rain. That was fantastic. But this game was fun, it was good, but it was nothing compared to Heavy Rain. I mean, it's a completely different game anyway, but the stuff that I loved from Heavy Rain in terms of mechanics, the whole way of you changing the story,
I haven't
they
played
took that way, and I didn't like that.
I haven't played Beyond Two Souls just yet, so I can't really comment, but one thing I'd have to say about a game like that, because it's driven solely by story, not exactly the gameplay.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong, I love the story, but
I mean, for a game like Beyond Two Souls for me to like it, it would need to have a very engaging story like The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead game didn't really have the best gameplay in the world, but it didn't matter because it had such a great story that really sort of gripped you into it.
Yeah.
I think Telltale Games have got that market down, like The Wolf Among Us as well. That's brilliant,
absolutely.
and that they're doing a Game of Thrones game as well.
Yeah.
I think they've pretty much cornered that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else is going to take that away from them.
To be honest with you, with the whole, you're on about the whole game mechanics, they've actually stepped that up, and I have to say, both in The Wolf Among Us and in The Walking Dead, it's fluid. It's beautifully done, and it's very well.
Is it better on console?
Choreographed.
Does it handle well on console? Does it?
Oh god, yeah. It handles really well.
I mean, it's not like there's
it's
really complex controls, though, is there? Not like some kind of pilot simulator.
That's a good thing, because I have to say the gameplay on console for the first Walking Dead game was pretty terrible.
Fair enough.
It did.
Yeah,
it froze a lot for me.
It was, but it still had a bit of weight to it. It still felt like you were surviving.
You weren't playing.
Like Walking Dead, so when the one you play as Daryl.
Okay.
It was like surviving. I don't know. Oh. Jesus Christ, what a game!
Bloody hell! I saw some of the videos, and it was just like you basically were up against the same zombies.
I saw the Inside Gaming guys play it. It's just like, oh my god, what is this? 5 years ago, that would have been groundbreaking.
But now,
but it's just like it's part of that kind of weird like area of games which aren't bad enough to be bad. They're bad enough to be fucking hilariously like, and people will just. I don't know. It's good enough to get attention for people to make it bad. Like if it was really bad, it would be released and nobody would buy it, and that would be the end of it, and people forget about it. But now because it was released and it had a big name and it was playable and you could do some stuff with it, it's just like everybody like a lot of people got a hold of it, and then it was.
It is always it's like it is fun though when you come across a game that's so bad it's kind of fun in a way. Yeah. It's like a really bad movie turning out to be kind of funny.
Yeah, I guess you could say the same with the whole Aliens Cloning Marines game.
Oh God,
Jesus Christ! I mean, I have to admit, I bought that because I thought I would. I was quickly.
Everybody thought it was going to be great.
Yeah. From the trailers, I thought, fuck now, I saw the gameplay trailers.
It was supposed to be all in gameplay, wasn't it? Yeah. And then they did like the same things in gameplay in the actual game, and they had it completely different. Yeah. The graphics were shit in the game. The AI was terrible. I'm really excited for Alien Isolation though. That is going to be a proper khaki pants kind of game.
Yeah. I'm optimistic about it, but I hope it's good.
Yeah.
It is by the same people that made Cloning Marines though. It's produced by Sega again.
Yeah, but it's a different production team, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think
they're
the
distributing it and publishing it. But it's a different. What did they do? They did something previously. I can't remember. I should look it up at some point. But yeah, it looks really interesting. Like the fact that they've.
One of my.
It's Ubisoft, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. Is it? Well, am I getting completely mixed up with something completely different?
I don't think it's Ubisoft.
No. Something's Ubisoft recently that I was reading. Anyway, sorry. That doesn't matter. Let's just leave that bit out. But what I'm really interested in is the way that they've programmed this alien to like learn, kind of almost like it'll find,
cool.
it'll learn like where you've been hiding and stuff, and it'll go to these places and it'll work out stuff, and it'll constantly be hunting you. You never know where it is until it's pretty much there.
One thing I really liked in the first Alien movie, which they didn't really take advantage of in the Cloning Marines game.
Cloning Marines was more like the Camerons, wasn't it?
Was you know like the sort of tracking devices they had in the first Alien film, where it makes these vibrating noises every time something's near you, or it has or you have like this little sort of bleep monitor, which is like this little dot telling you when something's near you.
Yeah.
I loved that in the first Aliens movie. It really sort of drove in the nail biting tension.
Because you couldn't see them, but you could hear that you knew they were surrounding you.
Yeah, it played on the whole sort of less is more feel. You knew the alien was around, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah, I like the whole less is more thing, because I'm pretty much done with horror films these days. Just don't get me at all. They're all kind of like B-movie concepts with an A-movie kind of.
What we got?
What's the word? Budget. That's the one. They're just not very well done. And they're all kind of like they're all constantly in phase. Like when you were saying like Heavy Rain, like was that scene with your finger?
Yeah.
That was fucking horrid, wasn't it?
That was.
But if you play Dead Space, you're chopping off limbs left, right, and centre, and you don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
There's gore and stuff going on everywhere, and it doesn't bother you. Whereas with so there's actually there's actual tension and it's built in well.
Didn't
And that's what they used to do with things like Alien and The Thing, the original The Thing. That was incredible.
God, yes.
Didn't someone
That
call Dead Space surprisingly a live space?
Surprisingly elastic. Yeah. I love what Yahtzee says. Like every monster in Dead Space is like an out of work actor clamoring for screen time,
just to get amputated. Oh.
Yeah, no, I mean Dead Space is alright for some shock things every now and then. Something would go. There'd be like a string stab, and I'd be like.
I was having this.
Oh, great! And
I was having this conversation recently with some people actually live in this house actually that were talking about a horror film they saw recently, and they said it was quite scary for some time, but they were happy with it once they explained everything that was going on, that they didn't feel scary anymore.
Yeah, that was.
But I'm thinking, hold on, don't you want the opposite in a scary movie?
Yeah, you want to kind of.
It's scary.
It's like when you're watching The Shining, you're just thinking.
It's scary when you don't know, because then you feel. A film's scary when you don't know, because then you feel just as alone as the characters in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same with The Thing. Like, the two survive, but you don't know which ones.
I think something that was also fantastic about that film was the amazing animatronics.
Oh, I love that.
They were incredible. That's what I love about the older kind of horror films and stuff, was the sheer amount of work that I know there's a lot of work goes into digital things, but I think that animatronics had that kind of creepy kind of quality that nothing else has.
The aliens in the second Alien film still scare me quite a lot, because they're just
was the guy who dressed up as an alien? It was just some Kenyan guy or something. There's a load of test videos on YouTube. It's like trying to see how the alien would walk, and there's scenes of him like creeping down the corridor like a slow-mo thriller dance. It's hilarious.
They're just people in costumes or animatronics, and they feel scary. You feel like their presence is physically there.
It's like the one that pops out of John Hurt. It's like a rubber thing on a remote control car going just across the table.
I mean, there was one.
It looks awesome.
There was also
they used real like animal guts and blood and stuff like that, and most of the cast didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, that's why
they were freaking.
That's why.
Out.
Did John Hurt know?
Yeah, he. I love that. What film was it? The thing was in it when he reacts it. He's like, "Oh, not again!" Burst out his chest. Oh, that was great. But I mean, what else is there? Like films when they've. Wasn't the woman from The Shining? Didn't she have some kind of crazy problem after? Or was it from The Shining? Like after filming those scenes where he was chopping down the bathroom door, she was actually screaming in terror. It wasn't acting; she was fucking shooting herself.
But I think you would if he's obviously using an actual axe to fucking chop down the door, and you're like right behind you, sort of thing.
That's another thing I like about a film like The Shining, is there's a lot of hidden, deeper meanings beyond it, but it never straight up tells you what they are and if these deeper meanings have been resolved, which just makes it all the more unsettling. But I mean. I think it actually plays on racism in a very subtle way, because at first all the characters are dressed in like red, white, and blue coloured clothing, which sort of represents how they're like Americans or locals, and they're coming into this area. And I think at one point when Jack Nicholson's character starts trying to kill his wife's now dressed up in colours that represent native clothing. So I think there's some sort of deeper meaning about.
I hadn't paid that much attention to it.
I watched the announcement on it recently.
Like a little claw thing, isn't it?
I watched an announcement on it recently. I can't remember the full meaning behind it, but I remember thinking it was a very unsettling thing when I first found that out. That sort of like she in a way was like becoming part of this sort of culture that she was embracing, and I think Jack Nicholson was sort of representing racism or something. That was quite strange and unsettling.
It's weird when you come across things like that hidden in film and media and stuff. I'm sure I had some kind of weird example in my head, but I've just gone blank. So.
Wasn't Alien? Didn't you say Alien was to? Well, someone said that the first Alien film was based on rape. The whole idea of rape. In terms of the fact that
it's a bit out there. But
I'm
possibly say. But then again, there's a lot of things. As we're all art students, we kind of got to that kind of stage in life where we can draw these weird conclusions between almost anything.
True, it is possible. I just said previously was complete bullshit, and I'm just crazy.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, just to talk about it.
Oh man. Yeah, talking about the less is more thing, I watched. Okay, I like cars. Okay.
Yeah.
I like my races fast. I like my fights furious. But I like my films with acting. That's why Fast and the Furious, I think, has possibly been so disappointing to me. I watched the Fast 5, I think it was, recently. Because I watched something, I think I watched a video of the top 10 car films or something, and it was on the list. I thought, well, I'll give it a go. Because I watched like the first few, like a few years back, obviously when they came out, and they were enjoyable. But they just...
You know the film?
God, it was cool cars, yeah, great. Things look glitzy, there's lots of driving fast. And I know there was definitely a suspension of belief for the whole drive in the crate, the big safe down the road.
Oh yeah. Didn't they pull down?
Okay, this is cool.
Didn't they pull down like an
when
airplane?
they'd stop for like a couple of minutes every now and then, which was completely unnecessary to build some weird story that didn't really need to be in it. And it's just like, and the acting was just like, oh. I mean, I've seen Vin Diesel do good acting and all that stuff. Bringing The Rock in was not a great idea. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's The Rock, but then it's just like, let's make him act.
Yeah.
I mean, the fight scenes were good, and the car chases were great, but just the bits in between were just like, why are they even there? Yeah. I don't want to see this. I want to see cars.
Let's put it this way. You don't exactly watch those movies to think.
No. That was the problem. I think I was in the wrong kind of frame of mind for it. I remember the amount of times I've wanted to watch like a proper just blow your brains out action film, and like end up watching something that ends up being a thriller or something, just being a bit disappointed. Or like a bit zoned out, just like in films that I would have really enjoyed at other times. But just the wrong frame of mind.
I think I went to that mindset when I first watched Drive, and that's why I didn't like it the first time around.
Oh, I love Drive.
But then
first time I tried to watch it, because the volume's so low throughout all of it, for some reason. Yeah, I tried to watch it on Netflix. And it's just like, we sat there for like, and we didn't have much speakers either, we sat there for like 45 minutes just like, I can't hear a fucking thing that's going on. And plus he never really talks. The only noise you get is like a couple of punches and some blood sickening and some car moving.
By the way, coming back to the whole less is more thing, you remember how Drive had like an opening chase sequence that was really tense?
Yeah.
Part of the reason why it was so tense was
because there's barely any movement.
No, because you never left the POV from the people inside the car. You never saw what was going on outside of them.
Oh, that's
but
true.
it wasn't like a high-speed chase though, a lot of it, was it? There was lots of kind of hiding and kind of like, turning corners.
Yeah, it
wasn't tense.
Yeah.
Nothing was ever
perfect.
Nothing was ever over the top. It was like there was like a few moments where he's putting his foot down whenever he thought someone was near him. There was a lot of hiding. But yeah, part of the reason why it was so tense, I didn't think about it until someone told me this, was you never see the camera outside of the car.
Yeah, I like those kind of long shots that they did. Like, there's that very famous one in is it Children of Men? Clive Owen and then the car scene, and then shooting the ping pong ball kind of thing. That's all one bloody shot, and they took ages sorting that out, man. And it's just incredible how they did it. There's a video somewhere I think that explains it, but it's just mental. And and then they get the ambush, and then they have to escape, and then it's just like, whoa, they did all this. Jeez. Yeah, so that's really good. And they apparently Gravity did a lot of that as well.
Gravity has got like a lot of one.
Not that it was digital, obviously. They weren't really in space.
But it does a good job making you forget it's digital, because a lot of stuff's done in like one shot, or at least it looks like it's done in one shot. So you constantly sort of thinking, I know this is CGI, but how are they doing all this stuff in one shot?
Yeah,
it's almost like
that's why I'm saying I think graphics, like I said earlier, with games and stuff and graphics, I think graphics has hit a peak. Soon we'll be able to have processing power to get that to run in game, but I think. What's next? What I really want to see from a game is a super realistic physics engine. Not like this is a shape, it will move like this, and there's a weight to it. And I want to see that. And I don't want there to be animations for a car jump for somebody jumping or something. Yeah. If they could actually have physical muscle working systems that affect the way things move, and like a car, like the actual engine is made of parts that actually do what they do in real life, and like. The substances and the materials involved are based on what they are in real life. That would be fucking incredible. I think if you could open a car and actually it was working, the cylinders were pumping, and you could see it, and the fuel was combusting in the way that it does in real life. That would be the most fantastic physics. That's what I think is happening once graphics has kind of hit its.
Yeah, I would like to see.
Besides VR.
I would like to see an outer space game that's got similar mechanics to Gravity. So when the character's like in outer space, all you're hearing is stuff from inside their helmet. So when like debris hitting them or gunshots are firing, you just hear nothing. That would like really drive in the atmosphere. And what would be like really cool is like, say your character's standing on a platform, but the spaceship is sort of like spinning, or you just sort of see the background behind them spinning repeatedly.
Yeah.
That would create a very eerie tone, wouldn't it?
It's a big step up from Moonbase Alpha.
Mm.
That game's incredible.
What's that
It's
about?
the NASA Moonbase like simulator, which had the text to speak thing on it, and
Okay.
people just went nuts with it. It was hilarious, and they released it on Steam. It's actually a Steam game now, and there's a load of mods for it that make like all this creepy shit happen and stuff. And there's loads of videos on YouTube where people just shout and they like and you can put in codes which changes the tone of the voice. People go, it's ridiculous, and it's all jump cuts, so it's very kind of quick and funny. But it's great, and people just writing weird shit. Like one of the things, for some reason, I don't know where it came from. I'm not quite sure what the root of this kind of thing is, but they're all just walking around going, John Madden, John Madden, John. I'm like, what? And somehow that's funny. I don't understand, but it is. It's just, it's incredible. You need to watch some Moonbase Alpha videos. There's a lot of them. I mean, they've been out for a while now. Most people have probably seen them, but yeah, they're good. They're good. I think I showed them to Robin last year, and she went mental over them. Like,
Is she been replaying Mass Effect 2?
yep, she goes
Yeah.
through Mass Effect every now and then,
You've been playing.
just so she can look at Miranda Lawson.
You've been playing a lot of Mass Effect, haven't you?
Yeah, after playing the first Mass Effect, because obviously I've got it on the PS3, so when the Mass Effect series started coming out, it was only the second one and not obviously the third one. And it was only until last year, just over a year ago, that when they brought out the first one. So I was like, right, I've got to play the first one because I love the games. Played the first one, absolutely fantastic, and then I was like, right, I'm back into going back into doing the whole trilogy now.
Because it's very decision based, so you kind of create yourself a different game now, haven't you?
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's the stuff that happened in the first one has actually taken a lot of effect in the second one, which I've never actually noticed before, and it's pretty damn awesome.
My problem with the Mass Effect, it's not a problem with the series, it's a personal thing that happened, is that when I was playing Mass Effect 1, we had one Xbox in when I lived with my parents, between me and my two brothers, and my profile was on that, and everything was saved on that Xbox. And I moved out, and I never had life, and I still don't have life because I'm a poor bastard. Same reason I got a CRT monitor, and so I got Mass Effect 2 on my Xbox, and so I had to go back and I had to work out like what the fuck did I do the first time round? Like, how did I do this? You have to go through it, and then I never actually got around to playing 3 because I never had the money for it. I've still got 2 upstairs, but I've played through it like 4 times. It's just a job. Those are games that I will, RPGs and things I will constantly replay.
Yeah.
I sold a bunch of games yesterday, but I've kept all my RPGs because they're just incredible. I do enjoy other games, but like you play through them once, maybe twice for a challenge, maybe you up the difficulty or something. But eventually, at Halo 4, I got so bored with that.
I mean,
And plus not having live, it was pretty much just a short campaign.
It's a bit like Call of Duty in a way.
It's not.
Like you got 6 hours campaign and then that's it.
The maps,
it's all online stuff. I mean, I played
I don't know.
Battlefront 3, and I enjoyed the campaign, I really did, but I played it in 6 hours. I did it in an afternoon, and that was me being quite bad at it as well. But without having live, I never really, it's not like a replayable kind of thing. So that's why I stick with RPGs more, because I think I must have like 16 different characters on Skyrim at least for different things, just different ways of playing. The way I'm playing it now is
I guess what makes
I'm playing it as like a one-handed shield and axe person, and I don't fast travel. I've got it on extra hard. I do everything and I've taken off the crosshair and all that kind of stuff. So when you're firing with a bow, it's just you have to hope it's in the middle of the screen.
It's one reason why you like RPGs so much is because the characters aren't so linear. They can be more what you want them to
it's
be.
It's the immersion level of it as well. The fact that you become like this character becomes you as like an extension of yourself.
Yeah.
And for some reason that it always affects the way my character. They always end up being like ranged, kind of sneaky people, which I'm not really. But I like the way that plays in a game. You can just kind of get in, do the bare minimum. You get in, everybody's dead. You steal all the stuff, you bugger off. And I love that. And I love it on Skyrim that you get to see where the arrows have gone through their face and stuff. And
Just.
God.
I was doing like this sort of Game of Thrones quiz recently to find out what sort of Game of Thrones character you'd be, and I found out I wouldn't be a very sort of brave character. I'd be a very sort of sneaky, slimy character, I reckon. Because there's one character saying if you were going to be in a fight, which would be your weapon, and I think weapon A was like a sword, weapon 2 was like an axe, and the third weapon was a bottle.
Weapon A was a sword, weapon 2 was an axe.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the third,
A, 2, and D.
And weapon 4 was like a bottle.
Door.
Weapon 4 was like a bottle of poison. I went easy, bottle of poison, because there's no way I'd win the sword fight with anyone. But poisoning
You're
someone.
not going to win a sword fight by trying to hit him with a bottle of poison, are you?
Yeah.
Smacking them in the head.
That's right. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Poison to the
Some in his mouth.
Yeah, but that's not right. Yeah, I wouldn't be a brave, honourable character.
It's a bit like that bloody that bloke in Game of Thrones in season 2, the old guy who tried to kill the woman with the red hair.
Yeah, I totally do.
Poison, and he just ends up killing himself because he drinks the poison.
Yeah, I totally do that.
Yeah.
Probably. That was like.
Oh
With,
shit!
yes.
That was like
Melisandre. The dude didn't like that she was burning the idols.
I do think
I completely forgot about it because actually she just drained it, didn't she?
I do think she's.
Yeah, she just I don't know what she must have just.
She's magic.
Yeah.
A lot
I was just like, what?
of people.
Game of Thrones. If the logic's broken, just go it's magic.
Yeah.
Logic's very rarely broken, but just say it's magic.
A lot of people disagree
I
with
mean,
us.
she gave birth to that fucking thing, so yeah.
Yeah,
Magic.
just a loss of shadow. I didn't know that shadow had mass. Bit
Well,
sciencey that.
a lot of people disagree with me, but I do think Melisandre, to an extent, is a bit misunderstood.
Yeah, I don't think she's that bad of a
I
character. I
know.
just think she has her own motives.
I
And
mean,
she will
it's-
do like everybody in Game of Thrones. They're not always like a bad character. They're stuck to their motives.
But I think
Yeah.
what sort of gets me most about Melisandre is, you know how throughout the TV series they talk about their various gods, and there is very little evidence to suggest which god is real when they talk about their gods.
Mm.
But with Melisandre, you have actually had actual physical proof that her god might be the real deal.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But then again, the idea with the 7 gods is they're just aspects of the same god.
Hmm.
It's just the one god. So it could all just be the same thing, just worship differently.
Yeah.
Ah.
Possibly.
But
But then which one's got the right aspect on this god then? Possibly Melisandre, because whenever she's
maybe
praying
that, or she's really good with burning stuff.
and creating babies out of shadow magic.
Yeah, looking at fires and go, ooh, like Mystic Meg.
The night is dark and full
Look
of
into
terrors.
this fire!
Oh,
Your dreams will come
But-
with oil!
Oh god.
by the way, there's one bit of news of Game of Thrones that came out recently. It's not really new news, but
New news.
it's pretty much
The olds then.
it's pretty much official that I think the 2 main producers of the show have come out and said that George R. R. Martin has told them not only how the show ends, but they've also gone into detail about where each and every character is going to be by the end.
You said it.
So-
There was a thing released today. I was going to watch it. I saw the title for it. It's one of the British Super News things.
I mean, I had heard about this rumor before, but this has pretty much made it official now.
Yeah. Well, I'd heard about it a few times, and I kind of just took it as read. I'd heard it that many times. But there was something released today. I didn't get to watch it. I should have done, because I knew we were doing this. I didn't click on it. But I think George R. R. Martin has set himself a deadline to get the books finished for, so that they will be done before the TV show. I think that's what it was. I think he set himself a timetable to sort it all out.
But
Yeah.
if the show is going to overrun the book, outpace the books, which seems more and more likely every year, how do you feel about that then? That they might become more.
I think what will happen by that point, the show will be enough of its own kind of different identity. It would work for both. I think it would be just as
Do
good.
you have confidence in it though that they can drive the show by themselves?
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't think anybody else could have done that show anywhere near as well as they do. I watch a lot of like really high class TV shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Really well done. But I think Game of Thrones is by far one of the
Yeah.
best shows
It's
I've ever seen.
It's a bit harder for you, Sam, to make this make a decision on this because you haven't read the books,
No,
haven't you?
I haven't.
But do you feel confident with the main showrunners
Oh
to
god, yeah.
take the project in their own hands?
I have to say I've bloody loved it.
I mean,
I've been obsessed with it.
I mean,
Because you didn't start watching it until recently, did you?
Yeah, and literally the first season I watched in a day. And
I
was that, and
I mean,
there's just
episode
me in my room just going,
You can't help it when that happens.
when a show can grip you in the first episode, which very few shows do,
Yeah.
you know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to say, the only season that I've well, obviously I've only watched the season 2. I need to watch season 3. The season 2 I've actually spread out a bit more.
I think
but even then I just kept watching and watching.
I think in recent history, the only other show that made me want to watch the next episode straight away after the first one was Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I haven't watched all of Breaking Bad.
You need to.
I enjoy it, I really do. I've just not got around to doing it because I keep finding other things. This weekend I watched the entire first season and as far as they got in the second season of Vikings, which is a History Channel show, which is actually really, really good, really enjoyable, really well done, and it's really it sets the tone perfectly for what they're trying to do. I also watched the last of the season. I've watched the whole season of Black Sails, which is it's made by Stars, who made Spartacus, fantastic series. Well, the first series was great, the rest of them got a bit weird. I'm not talking about all the stuff they did was fine. It just got to the point where I think they kind of tried to Latinize the way they spoke. Like they took out all the conjunctives. It was just really, really weird. And we used to have bets just as a laugh, how many minutes into the episode the bumming scene would be. It doesn't bother me that they had bumming scenes. It's just you knew it was going to happen every episode. you just wait for it. You're I bet it's going to be about 7-8 minutes, and the other one will be about 15 maybe. And you sit there and you just kind of bet. It's like saying in Game of Thrones, how long is it going to be before boobs or death?
Yeah.
It's just one of the elements of the show. It's a good show. But
if there's an attractive character in Game of Thrones, it's guaranteed he's going to get naked at some point.
Yeah, some point. But what else have I did watch actually last week? This is quite an old show. I watched all of the Hornblower episodes with I can't remember. I think it's Ian Griffith is how it's pronounced. He's a Welsh actor. He played Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba,
and what's his face who did Cap.
Captain America. Yeah.
It's one of his early things. He's actually wanted to turn it. He's trying to raise enough money to buy the rights to make an actual movie, instead of just for TV, a big movie. And that was a really enjoyable because obviously we enjoy Sharp. Well, I enjoy Sharp. We enjoy Sean Bean.
Yes.
This is based on the series of books that inspired Bernard Cornwell to write Sharp.
I need to watch Sharp. It does sound right up my street.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's super 90s.
I like
but it is really good.
I like the idea of a Sean Bean that can be invested in.
Yeah, Sean Bean that doesn't die. Spoiler. They started filming it, I don't know, 90...
That could be it.
I want to say 95, 96, maybe 97.
It's
good.
That's pretty much a twist, Sean Bean not dying now.
Yeah.
He doesn't die, oh my god. Oh god.
Well, what films were I watching the other day that had Sean Bean in, and he didn't die until right at the end. So it was quite good actually. That he was the main villain. He survived the whole way through.
They built it up.
Yeah, they really built it up.
What was it that we saw in Morrison? Was it Clean Skin or something?
Clean Skin.
A few years ago. I haven't seen that yet.
It looks terrible, but I want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the one that he's in with Keanu Reeves, which is pretty much it's like 1984 meets The Matrix meets something else. The one where he gets shot through a book because he's reading a book that's like a banned material.
That's not
Equilibrium. Maybe.
That's not. That's how they.
I haven't seen it, but I
quite enjoyed that.
That's
it
how
didn't get great reviews, but it was alright.
It's okay. It's heavily inconsistent.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for the first half of the film, it tries to be this very sort of serious, dramatic look on Monday society. Then the final half just turns into an action flick.
The exchange is like a Jet Li film. What is going on?
I mean, what was the most?
What was I'm wearing a white suit now for some reason.
I mean, what was the most? I mean, I wouldn't have minded the action if it was aware of how over the top it was.
Yeah.
But it tried to take itself so seriously straight after the action sequences.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one sequence, and I was questioning it at the time, because you're in this world where you're not allowed to show human emotions. You take these drugs that you sort of inject into yourself, and it sort of make you emotionless. And
for the members of the whatever they were.
And if you, I can't remember the explanation.
Fun police.
I can't remember why they do that, but anyway, if you show any emotion in public, they'll arrest you and probably kill you. I don't remember why. There was some reason behind it, but there was once, but obviously the main character played by Christian Bale or Keanu Reeves or whatever, He
I can't remember who it was.
He eventually,
I don't know.
he eventually stops taking the drugs, and there's one sequence where he finds a puppy, and obviously he's keeping the puppy hidden somewhere because obviously the puppy's making him show emotions. and
I've forgotten.
He's like in love with the puppy.
There's one sequence where he puts the dog in his boot, he takes it out into this abandoned area to sort of release it, and initially he was going to kill it, but he can't do it because he's stopped taking the drugs and he's gotten attached to it. So then he's like struggling to kill it, but then like the police shot behind him, they can obviously see he's showing emotion. So what does he do? He like kills all 5 of these policemen.
I'm not going to kill a puppy, but I'll kill these people. The poor sods that have been drugged out of their minds.
I just think, what the hell? You just tried to show so much gritty realism about taking a life, then you just kill these 5 policemen, no problem.
It reminds me of is it Tomb Raider? The most recent one where like you kill somebody and then she has like a mental breakdown and then just go ahead and kill a bunch more people.
It's
not even give a shit.
You're literally escaping the village and you're just like using the bow and arrow to just slaughter.
Fuck you guys.
The problem is though, he doesn't show any mental breakdown about killing these 5 people. It's just like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Back to the pub.
Like an over the top scene.
Floppy it is.
Oh god.
Look how small he is.
It is kind of like that, yeah. It's kind of, yeah. It's not a masterpiece like a lot of people are saying it is. But
Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's
I've watched-
eye-opening for people who haven't read any books.
if you've never seen 1948, you might think it's
Cool.
you might.
Not
You-
yet.
I can't remember. I was gonna say 1946 for a second. If you've never
I've seen that
yeah.
book about a
If you-
year.
If you not, yeah, if you don't, yeah, if you haven't ever read that book, you might think it's creative.
Yeah.
I've got it. I need to read it. I
Yeah.
started reading it. It was quite good, and then I don't know. I got distracted by Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I've got the trilogy of 5 upstairs.
Nice.
I love them. My uncle sent them to me when I was younger. And yeah, I've read them through like 4 or 5 times. When you get after like the 3rd or 4th book, it starts to get really fucking weird. Like it's so convoluted. You're like, what is going on? Like what? There's like interdimensional stuff and just like crazy ass. I don't know, how far are you in?
I've only read the first book. I haven't
Okay.
read the
It gets really fucking weird.
Does it?
Sequels.
I wouldn't suggest watching the film. I mean, the cast was good, except for the guy who played Zaphod. I had no idea who he was or where he came from.
Wow.
Okay. Film.
What's he in?
Yeah. He was in 7 Psychopaths. He was really good, and he's done Moon.
Oh, the Seven Psychopaths was okay.
Moon. He did that.
How much?
But I think they screwed up his character a bit because they kind of copped out a bit, like with the early versions of filming it. Like to have a second head, he had like a paper mache head just wobbling around on his shoulder. At least they tried, man. And like, he had like an extra arm just like stuck on him, just flapping about. Whereas now they kind of like hid them. Like his third arm was like in him or something, and his head was in his neck or something.
Yeah, and he just popped out, and you're like, ooh.
It was just weird, and they changed so much about it, and like they made it kind of shit.
I remember seeing it when it first came out. The film. It obviously didn't stick with me much though.
Yeah.
Because
I think Alan Rickman was perfect to play.
Oh, definitely.
I forgot his fucking name.
They had Martin Freeman playing the
what's his
main
name?
protagonist.
Yeah, Martin Freeman was great as
Yeah,
Arthur
he's
Dent. Arthur Dent.
He's always
Bill Nye is
he's always good.
Farty
Blast,
Blast, whatever his fucking name is.
It's all.
And Zoe Deschanel was pretty good in it as well. She kind of fit the character.
Yeah, it's always.
I can't remember any of
Mos
the goddamn
Def was
names.
good as
Mos Def was good as the other guy who's in it, who I can't remember. He's from Guildford. Well, he's actually from Beetlejuice, but
It always sounds me when we see like amazing casting for a film, but the actual film's
the film was just so badly directed.
I think the same for like
Marvin was the robot.
That's it.
I think wasn't it the same for like the A-Team movies? They had quite an awesome cast.
The A-Team movie. Oh,
Had
the
like-
reboot.
had
Liam Neeson.
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. Mr. T2.
I remember.
Yeah.
When I first saw that cast, I thought this looks amazing.
Yeah,
I was told it was quite forgettable.
Yeah, it's quite hard if there's such a big fan base around something. It's very hard to get it right. That's why Game of Thrones is one and only, because it's done an incredible job with getting it right. And I think what's great about it is that the fans who've read the books and they know everything, they won't spoil it for the people who are going to watch the shows.
Yeah.
They actually, they know that the shows are good. They understand why people watch the shows. They watch some shows themselves, and they're not going to go, hey, you guess what happens.
They do like
they're like a good community of people that
they do
know
like
that people are going to go.
they do like
Oh shit!
They
when
do-
certain things happen.
they do like teasing you, but I can understand that.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah. They're like,
'cause
oh, wait until next season.
But they do, but I can understand that because I do that a lot with Sam at the moment.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I said to him straight away after the end of season 2, what things happened to Theon?
I like them when every now and then me and you like have a little chat in the kitchen and we're kind of trying to test the waters to see how far the other person's read without saying anything. Like, have you got to the bit when the and you're just like, and then who does? And then you're like, and so does. And you're like,
we have to be very vague, like
what? You're not quite sure if you're going to spoil something for
we have
each other.
we have to be very vague, like the scene with the guy with the horn that did this thing.
Yeah, when so and so goes to the place that's over by the other thing, and someone else is like, I don't know, but maybe.
I was trying. Yeah. Yeah. I think I was trying to talk to you about like.
Because we were trying to work out where we got to with Arya's story, weren't we?
She's awesome.
I think you finished the 4th book, or her story in the 4th book, haven't you?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So we're completely on track with that.
We're on about the same kind of level. So yeah, it's just like wait.
Yeah.
This thing happened to her last time I read her chapter, and I think you were saying to me, oh yeah, that's the last chapter I read.
Yeah, that's as far as I got.
I was like, oh thank God.
Yeah. I did spoil a couple of things for myself on the wiki by accident, because I wanted to check a couple of character things out, and then
I did.
accidentally read a little bit too far, and then I was like, no, stop,
No,
stop spoiling everything for myself. So I stopped myself doing that.
I did think I spoiled myself once, because there's going to be a fight sequence in season 4, which is between these two characters. It's during a trial.
Testing the waters.
It's during a trial. Is that specific enough? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
There's a trial fight in season 4.
Yes.
And basically, I may have accidentally looked at a bit of details about that fight before I actually read it in the book. But the good thing was I sort of accidentally read the detail halfway through. So I thought this one guy was going to win when it turned out to be the other way around. So that really shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. So I've just noticed, just completely off topic, like we couldn't be any more like typical nerds. You're wearing a bloody Breaking Bad t-shirt.
Breaking Bad.
You're wearing a Batman t-shirt. And I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt.
That's freaking awesome.
Jesus. What's happening with an NES?
We're all contrasting as well.
Yeah.
I've got a Stormtrooper poster at home. I keep getting to bring here.
I have the GTA map on my wall and the Skyrim map on my wall. Just next to each other, just so that I don't have to open the map in game. I can just look up, because it's actually higher quality on the wall than it is on the screen.
Would it sound more awesome if I told you my dad bought me this t-shirt?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I saw the Los Polos Hermanos ones in a place in Liverpool. I was going to get them, but I got a Beastie Boys t-shirt instead.
My dad wants to go to Albuquerque.
Is it?
Because you can actually visit the house where they filmed Breaking Bad, and you can go and sit on Walter White's chair.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Awesome.
It's a man in England and just sat there on his throne.
Some guy comes up and shows your head and sticks your goatee on.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I would be okay with that. We got
I've
that.
actually got the mug of that with the whole logo of the Las Palmas.
I remember
But
seeing that.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's broken. Well, it's not broken.
It
I just
broke.
can't drink out of it because it's got a crack in it.
It's got a crack in it.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
I've got
bad-
it as like a little holder for some stuff. So
It's a bad mug. It's broken bad.
it's broken. First pub.
Just trying to stay away from puns.
We've got about I think 5 more minutes before we hit an hour. Is anything else you want to talk about?
Well, we've done a bit about games. We've done a bit about TV. Done a bit about film.
Oh, a quick one. It's back to TV, but a new TV series called True Detective.
Yeah, you were saying.
I've seen-
Holy shit.
I've seen
I
that.
do mean check this out because
I've seen that as well, so I can talk about that.
yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, the characters Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, and they're fantastic. I mean, the way it's acted is brilliant.
I need to watch that.
The
Is
characters
it
are.
on Netflix?
It's on Sky Atlantic. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix.
Because I'm going to see my girlfriend's in Liverpool for a bit, and she's got Netflix. So
I think it
I might be able to watch it or something. Because she has to go to work in the evenings when she works at a bar.
I think I said
has
this.
some free time.
Yeah, I do. And what's quite good is it's actually quite a long series. I was they're about an hour and a half each episode.
It's 8 episodes,
and
yeah.
they're really good.
Really?
Honest to God.
Well,
I heard it's pretty good. I think
thing-
we were chatting about it the other day on the
Yeah.
from
One thing I
It's
definitely
high
like.
quality as well.
One thing I definitely like about it is it does straight away. There is a lot of mystery shrouding it because
it's all flashbacks, isn't it?
yeah, well,
Well, not flashbacks, but telling a story, and you're like, already at the end, you're like,
Yeah.
what?
It's
What?
it's basically it's like it's 20-year case, but you're and it's these two detectives sort of telling the story 20 years ago, but you're seeing flashbacks from them when the case started.
Yeah.
But the two main protagonists have changed significantly.
That gives
Yeah,
them,
that's-
if they do like a season a year, that gives them like 20 years worth of potential filming in
Yeah.
his works. That is really clever.
Oh,
But yeah, it's just I like it when it's sort of it creates that mystery and you've got no idea how it gets there. So there's all sorts of ideas going on in your head.
But at least you have the security in knowing that those two characters survive.
yeah.
That's why I think
But they've changed significantly. So you're sort of thinking how they've gotten where they were then to where they are now.
one of them's a woman.
Because I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. I'm
Well,
not-
like
I'm not-
the major
I'm not-
was it the
I'm not-
Bukowski
I'm not gonna-
brothers.
I'm not gonna say.
Well, yeah.
I'm not gonna say which season. I'm not gonna say which season is happening. But Breaking Bad does that at one point, and and the only thing going through your head
Roller
from it.
becomes a woman.
Yeah. Damn.
Damn it, they worked it out.
Spoilers. But yeah, you have this sort of flash forward at the start of one season, and you're constantly thinking to yourself the rest of that season, how the hell does he get from there to where he is now?
Mm.
And that's just it's just not bringing
There
up
was
something
things
bells in
that
your
like
head.
Breaking Bad did. There was those things with the flashback things at the beginning of the episodes, those weird kind of like arty shots, and like I don't know. I don't remember there being much of a payoff for her. I got to the end of season 3, and I get getting really confused. Like what about? But I haven't seen that
I
yet.
know.
Why hasn't that
Give
happened
it a
yet?
chance because there was a lot of imagery.
I know what season that is. That's season 2. That is kind of disappointing in terms of
Because I got
payoff.
to the end of season 3, and I need to watch more.
It's not so much because it's not a clever payoff. It's because it builds up like something big's going to happen, but something kind of small happens.
What was it?
I think talking
What
about
season are you on?
Just finished 3.
Finish it.
Oh,
Right.
3.
Have you?
3 does end up.
You know the bit about the bear.
Yeah.
So
That's what I was kind of thinking about. Like, what the fuck happens with the bear?
You will. Oh, I don't want to spoil it because you do see it,
Okay.
and it's very clever how you actually see it because it all links,
Mm.
and it's quite freaky as well. It's
Okay.
like how it's like a
I
coincidence.
can-
Oh shit.
Actually,
Yeah.
Actually, I can remember. Actually, I think I know what you mean with season 3. Because season 3 does end on a cliffhanger. I remember being annoyed with that.
Mm.
I mean,
Season 3 is the one where it ends really. Well, I don't know, because
I think that's the only season that
where
ends
are
on
we
a
going to put
cliffhanger.
this that people are going to be listening to? I don't want to say what happens in season 3 because some people haven't watched any of it. Actually, my girlfriend, I told her to watch it, and I said, give it a go. It's good. It's great. I know I haven't watched it all, but you get to the end of season 3 and we'll watch the rest together. She finished it all in like 3 days, like the whole fucking lot. Just straight. I don't know how she did it.
I mean,
oh my god.
season 4 onwards is just where it gets like non-stop tense.
oh
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
I loved it.
I mean, because you saw the end of season 3, a certain axe drops towards the end of season 3, and it's sort of everything's sort of unsettled from there on.
Yeah, it's got a very abrupt ending, hasn't it?
Mm.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
A very awkward.
It's sort of like Walter White's last moment of normal life, really,
Yeah.
with something
The
complete.
end of his kind of
Mm.
clarity and sensibility. Loses it.
Well, because without trying to spoil it, in season 3, everything looks sort of like set up for him. Everything's okay. There's not someone knocking on his door trying to kill him, and he's sort of
nice reference.
oh yeah. Oh fuck.
Spoilers.
But yeah, that sort of just continues to fall apart in the next season now.
We're gonna have to put in the subtitles of this spoilers because we just don't have control over that, do we?
That's the thing.
We just say stuff and we're like, oh shit.
We can always, if we ever want to do spoiler talk and we've got 10 minutes to go, we can always do it then.
Yeah, well we got 10 minutes. Should we do like a 10-minute spoiler thing on the end?
Okay. What should we do? Should we do like a 10-minute spoiler thing of Game of Thrones then to build up to next new season?
I don't know.
Is
Like,
he-
We
if
can
I
get
haven't
up to
seen-
have you seen season 3?
That's the problem.
Okay.
Season
Well, we
3.
can talk about 1 and 2 confidently.
That's fresh
I
enough.
think.
That's fresh enough.
Because I think
Yeah.
plenty of people, have seen it.
putting people. I mean, it's not big consequence if you. I mean, people know about Ned.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
So
if you've never watched it, like people have said
pretty
enough
much.
about it now. It's kind of
Yeah.
it's the cat's out of the bag. Like
So,
the
yes.
head's on the pike.
So what?
And
So
he's not on the cover of
it's not-
season
he's-
2.
Yeah,
He
he's
got-
not in the credits anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I remember.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah. So spoilers from this moment onward. Then, if you don't want to know, spoilers about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I really want to see what happens to Theon. Because I mean, at the end of season
It is-
2, I have to sort of think,
It was.
is he being taken by Rob to be beheaded, or has his own men being taken him back to his father?
Yeah.
When I.
Or, I don't know, or
He's actually he's not in the books.
It happens-
At that point.
Yeah.
It all happens
just
out,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Like.
you kind of get hints every now and then, but nobody really knows what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, all the stuff that happens to him in the next season all happens off screen in the books.
And
Ooh.
Theon, being specific there, Theon never really comes back.
Oh shit. Yeah, because there was that thing when he was
But-
speaking to...
Now you just mean me.
Yeah.
Jam! I mean,
What?
when he was speaking to... Oh, what was his name? The old guy who gets killed. I forgot his
Oh,
name. He was
not
brilliant.
Mace Lewin.
Mason
Yeah.
Lewin, yeah, okay.
Because
Oh.
he sort of... I thought there was that moment where he had clarity of, actually, I'm going to join
Yeah.
the Night's Watch. So I thought... And then now
He
he's
wouldn't have-
saying, oh, you don't...
He wouldn't have joined.
I don't know. What,
He wouldn't have joined that. He wouldn't have lost along on the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
Not with Jon Snow trying to be pissed off then.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, maybe John will be able to kind of put that, because he has to kind of put that aside. He's given up all his rights to family and fame and all that kind of stuff.
That didn't stop him trying to escape at the end of season 1 though.
Yeah, but he didn't, though, did he?
He didn't.
Yeah,
That's only
he
because
got brought back.
that's only 'cause his friends got him in time. Even like his commander said, it wasn't his honor that brought him back.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a serious, like, he knows how serious it is by that point.
Mm.
Even though he kind of half did
Yeah.
leave, but didn't.
Coming back to
Well,
coming back to the Theon thing just very very quickly. One thing that was like puzzling me for quite a while was like who exactly is taking him captive now, because it couldn't be the Stark Bannerman, because then you see
they're
Winterfell
not
and
anymore, because it's
'cause then
Boltons.
because then you see the Winterfell because then
Oh, don't worry.
because then you see Winterfell get sacked. You start thinking, has someone else taken Theon captive? Now I had one interesting theory for a while, and Sam had the same one. He reckons the Freys burnt down Winterfell because they've got a reason to do it.
Well,
Yeah,
that's-
'cause the whole
that's thing.
marriage-
I'm trying to get my brain
Yeah.
into season 2 mode,
One-
which is very hard.
Basically,
I'll explain.
Rob was sworn to another woman because of the
Yeah,
bridge.
yeah.
But
And then what happens is he falls in love with the
Tali-
doctor.
Talisa.
Yeah.
They get married, and then obviously this whole thing with the whole Winterfell
Yeah.
being burnt
And-
down,
and
Yeah.
and it's just like, well,
so
That has its repercussions.
that was
Yeah.
my
That does have its repercussions.
So that was my theory at the end of
But it's
end of
not.
season. That was my theory at the end of season 2. I reckon the Freys straight away found out about that wedding and burned it down.
Yeah. No.
Just
Sorry.
just no,
Sorry. There are repercussions, but they're much more painful than that,
oh.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say any more, because that's just me.
I am kind of expecting it, because I'm sort of thinking, shit, you know,
It is.
he's done it. What is actually going to happen? Because it's just.
Do you think you're going to have season 3 finished by the time season 4 starts?
Oh god, yeah.
It's was it the 6th
My-
of April it starts?
Yeah. My honest. We could probably go
Yeah.
into go into proper depth next week if you've seen season 3.
Yeah, because what's happening is I've just bought myself a nice memory stick USB thing, and it's got 64 gig on it.
Mm.
So Josh has got the third season. It's in HD, but it's like 13 gig.
Ah,
So I can
okay.
transfer it over to because I ran out of space. So what I was I bought this so I can just stick it on, and it's quite fast apparently. So download it and then just watch it on my laptop on TV. Get used to that,
Fair enough.
and then I'll just spend the whole day just watching season 3 because that's what I did for season 1. I had a whole day of it.
That-
I'm
yeah.
trying to think what else happened at the end of season 2.
Season 2.
That's
Oh, and they take back obviously King's Landing.
because
the Lannisters take back-
there's the battle of Backwater at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Blackwater. Oh my
Yeah.
god, such a good episode.
That
That was
And-
incredible. That made me think that one of my favourite characters in the whole thing is bloody Bronn. He is so goddamn cool.
Awesome.
He had the biggest kill count.
Yeah.
He actually did. I thought
Everybody
it
to none.
was pretty tense with him and the Hound. Like when he was just there, he's holding his knife, and there's the Hound just
It's
like,
because you know that anything could happen.
yeah,
Everybody is
It's just-
in danger of being killed off.
Yeah.
I love what DB Weiss and David Benioff do. Like the cast are kind of used to it now, but every now and then they'll just write out a character. Like they'll send them like a script in which their character dies, and they'll be like, "The fuck!" Like they'll get really stressed out. It's just a joke. Like so many people have been like killed off just as a joke. But obviously not gone into.
I remember-
They read the script like, why could you people call it up? Like, why are you doing this to me? Like, what?
I was listening to like an interview with George R. R. Martin recently, and he was talking about a very funny incident when he was at this red carpet, and he was talking to 3 of the actresses in the series.
Oh, yeah,
And they
you
were-
realised who they were?
Yeah, and all 3 of them were saying to him, "Please don't kill my character. I love working for the show."
Yeah.
And he just sort of realised.
He worked out who they were afterwards. He realised that I've already killed them.
he's like thinking. in-
Sorry.
He's like thinking in his head, "I'm sorry, it's already done."
Oh god.
Didn't you say like his wife would leave him if he killed off this one character? And he's just like,
Yeah, he killed. He said it. She
Yeah,
said
his
it.
wife seems to have a big role. Like when the guys got hold of the rights to make it into a show, didn't they? She send them a letter like saying, "If you screw this up, I'll kill you," or something like that. Or something like that.
She
Don't fucking screw it up, or
she
something.
takes-
She sends them.
She
Oh my
takes. She takes after her husband.
Yeah. She's a bit more physical with it though than literal.
But yeah, I think I couldn't actually find the actual story about it. But yeah, I think someone was saying his wife would threaten to divorce him if he killed off. I think Arya or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
She
Jesus.
was like, "You better not
I
kill
love
her,"
how Maisie Williams hasn't actually read the books either, like because her parents have read them to her. I think
because they're quite
she's
violent
had-
books.
I think that's a super violent thing. I just put.
There's it's not even like how violent. It's not even like the violence that's found in the books. Is like how detailed the sex scenes are.
It's a bit grim.
You just
You
have
know, the actresses that play Sansa and what's her name? Sophie Turner
Yeah.
and Maisie who plays
Maisie.
Arya. They're only like a year apart age-wise.
really?
Yeah.
But they look
They keep,
so
every time they're together, like on
They look really-
on panels and stuff, she keeps saying it. Maisie keeps saying it. She's like, "I know I'm littler, but I'm only a year younger." She's always on about it because she doesn't like being so much smaller.
I think Maisie.
Sophie's like she's like
think
tall
Ma-
as hell. Man.
I think Maisie was saying as well when they first met. Sophie was saying to her, "Oh, you look so cute."
Yeah, they got on really well apparently. That's
Just-
why they were cast together because they just got on so well.
She was like, "Yeah, I'm only a year younger than you."
Yeah, that was the panel with is it the guy from Always Sunny?
Always Sunny.
in Philadelphia.
Always saying,
Oh,
Have you not guys not watched that?
no.
Watch it. Watch it. If I'm gonna make you watch any TV show, watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
"Okay,
Go.
It's got it's just really really good.
okay."
Who was it who was saying they don't like Charlie Day?
Oh, that was James when
Yeah.
he came down.
You shouldn't watch it.
He doesn't like the Matrix either. He's weird.
Yeah, he's a bit weird.
Well, he didn't like the first one.
James weirdo.
I'm not inviting him. I'm not inviting him to this podcast. Yeah, I feel, for some reason he said he didn't like. He said he didn't like the sequels, but he said he didn't like the first one either.
I watched the first one again a couple of months ago. Incredible.
Yeah, I
Loved
mean,
it.
even if you don't like the story, you can appreciate how it's an amazing achievement in visuals and
What I
stunts.
love the most about it is the weird kind of like the way it's like the weird like the late '90s turn of the millennium kind of like
Yeah.
and the kind of like the dirty digital disco kind of club thing that's going on. It's just really good.
I did
It's,
basically.
it's
Yeah.
around the same time as Blade, wasn't it? And that had
I
the
think
same sort of.
Blade was a some of the graphics in Blade were fucking hilariously shit.
I did make.
Like oh my god, I love the Blade films, but
I did make. I think I did make fun of the romance between Neo and what's her name?
Trinity,
I did make. I think that's the only thing I made fun of because I felt more chemistry between Neo and Morpheus than I did.
she was a bit wooden, wasn't she?
Yeah.
All wrapped in plastic. Has she done anything? Apparently, I've never seen her in anything else.
She was in Memento.
Was that any good?
That's actually good. It's by Christopher Nolan, and it's got that whole sort of, how do you sort of say it, Reservoir Dogs feel to it,
right, okay.
sequence to it. So it's just like it's like flashbacks, and then but they all link towards
Yeah.
the end. And it's just like
Yeah.
whoa,
We've got like one more minute, by the way.
pretty awesome.
Oh, got a minute.
But yeah, I do recommend having a look at that. That's quite cool actually. It's a bit mindfuck at times, but then it does make sense towards the end.
Just like a Nolan film.
Yeah, just like
No,
but not as bad as Inception. Jesus Christ, I love that film, but
yeah, that's
fuck,
good.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's not. Yeah, I do like Inception. It's a bit overly complicated sometimes. That's, I think complicated's a bit of an understatement.
Yeah.
It's
Even if you
definitely-
try and grasp it, you just lose yourself.
I don't know.
with it.
Also, like from Inception, there came that thing that everybody does now. That kind of like the thing that's in everything. The trumpet thing. It's in absolutely everything.
I'll show you something in a minute that takes the piss out of that when we're done. It was really funny.
Okay.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
is that it? We're calling time.
Calling it a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we talked about a fair amount of
Wherever
stuff.
we upload
Yeah.
these, you can find them, and we'll do another one around Wednesday, Thursday-ish, maybe next week, possibly, maybe not.
Probably Wednesday.
Yeah.
Probably Wednesday because it's the best
Wednesday,
time for
because
us.
we're in college and we kind of have to be around anyway, so
Yeah.
it's
So
a
we-
good day for us.
So then we can all just
Yeah.
meet up after college. Because usually
Yeah.
if I try and do this midday during Thursday, everyone's busy doing stuff.
Well, maybe.
Or asleep, or something.
Yeah.
It's usually just sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, okay, brilliant.
Bye.
Right, take care. Bye.
In a sec.